those things going for them. Mike McDaniel's second year as a head coach, and then Jalen Ramsey, his leadership on that team, the way he'll be able to help the defense, just the communication on that team. Their defense is going to improve a lot. While we still have Tyreek Hill in his championship window, and I think he was someone last year who should have been in the MVP conversation with how amazing he was.
Yeah.
Just creating yards. And then Jalen Waddle, it's like I feel like this is the most talented team in the division, and they are one of the most talented teams in the league, especially with all the firepower on offense.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Dolphins' range for me, it's relying on Tua's health. I see them anywhere between 10 wins and 13. I think 10 to 13 for me is my range, but they have the talent to do it. They have the talent to win the division. If they can stay fully healthy, then I think they should be one of the best teams. So they're 14-3. Do you see them getting the 1 seed?
Yeah.
1 seed? Okay.
I know. Yeah, I think it's between them and Jacksonville. I really do, because I feel like Miami and Jacksonville have two of the easier schedules, especially because the South plays the South this year. We're going to go over that, but I feel like the Jaguars are going to have one of the easiest times because they're going to have 4 wins versus the NFC, and then they're going to have probably 6 wins in their own division. That's 10 wins right there.
Yeah.
For the Jaguars, because they're definitely going to be more talented than the Texans, Colts, and Titans, especially at quarterback. They're going to be young quarterbacks with a better Jacksonville Jaguars defense, and we get a stud receiver back in Calvin Ridley. And then their offense is going to be even more dynamic. So I think it's going to be a race of the 2 Florida teams this year. And similarly, because we've kind of had the year in hockey and the NBA with the Florida Panthers as a 7 seed going crazy. Now they're in the up 2-0 in the conference championship. And now the Miami Heat are up 3-0 in a conference championship. So we're talking about teams in Florida that are going to be contending. I definitely see the Jags and Dolphins, but we can transition right into the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler just kicking the Celtics ass.
Look, I mean, I think the first 2 games, shame on the Celtics for not getting at least a win at home.
Yeah.
And then game 3. What are we doing? Celtics get blown out by 30 points in Miami. It's been disgraceful. And then for the Miami Heat, I mean, talk about a team that this what's happening this playoff run should be a movie at this point.
Oh, for sure.
You got them beating the 1 seed. Nobody predicted you to win. You were down. You lost the first play-in game. Second play-in game, you were trailing with 3 minutes left. And then you beat the 1 seed. You beat Giannis. You beat the Knicks. You are 1 win away from making the NBA Finals. The first 8 seed to do that since the Knicks. This is like poetic almost.
Yeah.
And at this point, I mean, there's more questions about the Celtics than there are about the Heat at this point.
Yeah, but we have to state how great the Heat have been, because I felt like once you got past the Milwaukee series, they won that series in such a fashion where I was just like, I am really nervous for any team that has to fight them, because if they basically witness God as Jimmy Butler, because Larry Bird, when Michael Jordan went in there and dropped 60 in Madison Square Garden, he's like, that wasn't Michael Jordan, that was God as Michael Jordan there. Like, Larry Bird had that quote, and I felt like that was kind of the same thing with Jimmy Butler versus the Bucks, because Jimmy Butler just refuses not to lose in the playoffs, and he goes for 56 points just to will them in it. And then the closeout game, they have leads where they're trailing by double digits going into the 4th quarter, and that's usually when Milwaukee doesn't lose. And the fact that they were coming back in the 4th quarter in that Milwaukee series, I was like, the Knicks of all teams, Jimmy Butler takes 1 game off and you get that game. And then credit to the Knicks for Jalen Brunson actually showing heart, unlike the Celtics, because you go up against the Knicks, Jalen Brunson plays 48 minutes and has 38 points and wills his team to victory in New York in a game 5. They probably would have gentlemen swept them if Jimmy Butler played in game 2, because I think that was a really close game without him. But his teammates see them, and then